Hi guys, no, I haven't given any of you guys an update that I'm coming live. I have been sick with Ascension flu, and I want to give you guys an update. I did try last night to organise a package where I can type and it can turn to audio for the times that I am unavailable. I'm doing changes on my side of the fence to make myself more readily available, so you're going to have to bear with me while I'm going through this transition. But I feel it's really important for me to give the collective an update, as well as for those of you who are twin flames. Now, there are lots of messages and there are lots of things that we're directly going through, and it has been really, really tough. Now, yes, we could go into the astrology, but the one thing that you guys need to really understand is what we're going through is divine feminine and masculine. Hi, Elizabeth. Is that we're having an upgrade energetically, okay? Yes, it has been very heavy. It has been very taxing on our body spiritually. We've been trying to balance both the 3D and the 5D and integrate. Masculines also are going through a massive shift as well. Yes, well, I've missed me too, and I've been fighting for that as well. So I've been trying to create balance. But the time frames that I've been available has been virtually impossible. What with the clientele that I've had coming through, the catch up and the kind of balance of the home front. So there has been a lot going on, and it has made life super impossible at the moment. I'm working on things to alleviate I can be more readily available. Now, I am unwell, but I do want to give you the update, okay? There has been nausea. There has been Ascension flu. Some of you may have been experiencing headaches through your third eye. Now, your body, it has been really since 2012, okay? It's been this ongoing saga of energy shifts. Now, when you look at the astrology, the best advice I can give you guys, those of you who have been on this path for a long time, hi Dale, is use astrology to navigate, your pain body experiences. Because what you're going to find is if your 12th house is activated, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have Ascension flu and you're going to have a massive download. Also, if you can pay attention to the transits, you're going to need to learn how to use the spiritual aspect, your Ascension. Now, a lot of you guys have been going through that much crap. You're like, if we physically go through any more crap, and I can totally relate to that. It's happening because of what's going to happen to the collective. Now, what is going to happen to the collective? Simultaneously, I did mention this last year. I said you'll notice people around you going through a lot of energy. There's where they're not going to quite understand what's going on. And really moving into 2020, there will be more need for healers because people are seeking this information out. And I'm going to try not to cough because I am very unwell. With this information they're going to seek, you will visually start these things going on around you. Now, the more you can integrate your energy, you need to use astrology to cope with it. You need to also understand that you are a divine channel. So when you are around individuals, also trying to actually understand how to manage that energy. The more you can do the work on yourself to cope with how you can receive frequencies, vibrations, you're going to become more susceptible to it. Your auric field as well is getting impacted. Try not to go too heavy into your auric field, but focus more on your chakras. When we have retrogrades, you tend to get quite dense into the 3D. So although many of us have moved up the chakra systems, hi Dale, you also will fall down very dense into the 3D because you're dealing with 3D related areas. So being mindful that, yes, you have risen above that factor. Many of you are in your 7th and above. You've moved through that. The crown's activated. When you're purging in denser frequency and you're more susceptible to Ascension symptoms, you're also more susceptible to people, places, and things, their environmental factors. And a big shout out to Sula, because she loves it when I say that, don't you? People, places, and things. We know the related energies. Is this all it's going to be? Is anything going to get better? Why does the storyline not correlate with what we're feeling internally versus what we're seeing? So there can be them, and that will be due to the eclipses that we had. My daughter's sick, I'm sick. Now, the masculines at the moment are really doing a lot of work. Now, Those of you who are still recovering from separation, done a great deal of work, are going through that as well and being quite critical towards ourselves that we haven't, purged enough, or we haven't grown enough, or detached. I'm really feeling there is a big shift energetically, but we're transmuting a lot of frequency around us. Masculines as well are going through a similar energy. How do I put it? Those of you who are on a pain body experience and you're saying, if you're still in that mindset, my masculine did X, Y, and Z to me, it's not to say heal it, you can charge a union. Because if you can't, you do get an aspect of the healing within the union, but you also are your own vessel to make yourself happy, very separate to masculine. So it will make it more complicated when you do reach reunion. Because if you haven't been able to process that information very separately and understand that, create that domain where you're gentle with yourself and you don't, and many of you have moved through that energy well and truly already. It's buffering. I can't really do anything because the kid door shooter. Is that a bit better? Is that a bit better? Is it working better? Is it coming through okay? When I go through YouTube and I do look at various videos, I'm very selective about what I do listen to. You also need to be super, and it depends on where you are in your journey. If you're going to be looking at videos and they're telling you something, it's to help you reach a point, okay? This bloody internet is driving me crazy. Shanice, do not close this door. Keep that down, please, because it's ruining the internet. Knew it. Children. When I look at those, I am noticing there's pockets of you who have done a lot, okay? And it's not to say we haven't. We have done a lot of work. But if you're still in that dense 3D energy of what they're doing, yes, we want to know what they're doing. But, not even the fact that I'm masculines that I do work with. And I'm giving you the message that they are going through a hard. If that triggers you, there's something in an energy field that you need to work on, okay? Because that is the reality of what I have been seeing. The blockage, sometimes when we look at our twin flame path and we're looking at access, sometimes we get a little bit triggered and say, well, gosh, certain pockets of the journey and what I physically went through, the karmic related dynamics are larger than what potentially the feminine had. So it's not as simple in a dynamic of us looking at it going, why don't you just do this or why don't you do that? Many of these twins, depending on what wave they are and depending on, what they have occurred in their life, it hasn't been that they don't have the power to do certain things. It's that there's massive consequences in lifetimes that they've created, both with you and, with other connections that does cause complications in that dynamic. So finding direct solutions, and on top of the astrology, many of you had already moved through some of these energies. So those of you who were moving out of particular jobs, you're really tapped into the matrix, because when you do look at the astrology, the Capricorn frequency that we've been moving through is a karmic end, because we're moving out of a way of doing things. And many of us from 2002, all the way through to 2008 and beyond, we were shifting energetically, and that's for feminines. It's not to say masculines weren't. Through that process, it is part of the astrology. So you're tapped into the matrix. You listened, you receptively worked on that area and you moved through it. Those of you who are still moving through that dynamic and trying to find your niche, it doesn't have to be tarot. It doesn't have to, whatever is spiritual to you and whatever your niche is your niche. So it's finding something that's going to work for you physically, and that's masculine or feminine. Sometimes you outgrow doing things a particular way, and that is for masculines and feminines. And the acceptance on the masculine side is that, does the old of what I was doing fit with this new storyline? And that's whether you're in union or not. When you're listening to channelings, what you do need to understand is, be it you're in union or you're not, a lot of the vibrations will be exactly the same. We go through the same situation. There's also no wrong or right time when your twin comes back to you. If they do, it's the correct time. Don't get your knickers in a twist and think, gee, you know, is it an alignment? Are you in alignment? That's what counts. What you give, what you take, what you do, all directly impacts the process. So, you know, especially when we're pausing and not making decisions. The reality is, the more into your ascension you get and your spiritual growth, you don't need to wait for another person to make a decision. We can lead a horse to water, we can't make it drink. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that you have to stop your life on the path of what you feel is correct for you. Don't think that that blocks the journey. It actually fast tracks the journey by you focusing on it. I'm going to pull some cards for the masculine because I do know they're going through quite a bit. Now, the last reading I did, the energy of the karmic was coming through, and I do feel this is quite relevant. But at the same time, it's the masculine trying to find balance, and I do feel they're in their insight, okay? They're in their crown chakra. Again, it is an awakening process. They're evaluating all the old energies that they went through. And it's interesting because the card breaks down to a 6, which is massive. Whenever I'm saying 6, it comes to me in a sense of the masculine energy. I come to you guys because I love you, that's why. Trying to look at how they can change things around. From what they've learned and what they have, they're trying to promote at the moment, but it's not that they're not working separately to you. They're trying to get, this can be in union or you're not. So universe works in an ironic way. If you guys are in reunion and you're not seeing a lot of your twin, it is part of the process. Both twins that aren't in contact or in basic communication or in reunion union, if you're finding you're not seeing your twin as much, it's because universe is separating the both of you guys to receive the downloads, go through the purge, and try and look at the areas, and this is what this Virgo energy is going to be, trying to find the areas where the balance can come back in, where potentially you can tackle situations from a different angle, where the imbalances are within the foundation, and what would need to happen in order for that to occur. Now, sometimes the universe gives you options. Other times, if the shift isn't happening, the option can be taken from you where universe intervenes. So this can, for many, go 2 ways. And I'm going to pull 2 options, okay? I'm going to pull the overall energy for the masculines, and then I'm going to pull the ones for the universe and for where they take direct action. Bear with me. Okay, universe. Okay, them taking direct action. Yes, I'm here. I'm dying, but I'm here. I love you. What was that comment? Why does my wife always blame me for everything and refuse to accept when she's wrong and refuses to take her share of the... Oh, look, at the moment, I'm telling you, it's just very funny energy, okay? So there's a lot of pain body experience coming up. There's a lot of regression going back. And I mean, I was super cross at myself the other day. And just before I started getting this, you know, my body was getting very run down. And it was obviously being in union, there's karmic related dynamics and tying up loose ends. I very much have found my happy place within my energy and peace and closure. Then within the reunion, there's also their energies of their spiritual upgrades that's going on. And you're entering both of those domains into the equation, but you've already purged a lot of karmic situations, a lot of, you know, ways of operating. So it's almost like reliving those things again. But then knowing that you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink, and it does directly affect you, but it doesn't because it's not yours for it to affect you. So it's very complex. So having your healing prior is super important, or you just won't cope. We're in pain body experiences. You know, if you watch the Leo, and there has been a lot of ego going around at the moment where it's he said, she said, he did, she did. You know, and I've even lived that. I've even been through that experience. My consciousness is it's childhood wounds, or where it's the past, you know, all of those things. Bit similar to what the past is, then that's the correct issue, not the past. It's regardless of what happened in the past. Now become very realistic, very much words and actions match. Words and actions need to match. Yes, we're also not codependent on the point that it's got to go to a set paradigm, that it doesn't have to look a certain way. Is it still breaking up? Better. I would go in the other room, but the kids are here, so it's impossible. You're going to be picking up on the Leo energy. It's a bit in lag with the energy, right? So this is where the problems were, but we were in tower moments then. No, this is moving all the way through to September in a balancing sense. We're then experiencing the Aquarian energy. We were already moving into the energy vibrationally prior to the Leo energy coming through, you know, so we're ahead sort of thing. So we're already experiencing it the month before. I can't really do much about it unless the kids turn TV off. 1 minute. Shanice, can you get them to pause that and watch TV just till I've done my video? It's buffering. Too many internet devices. So anyway, so the foundational related issue, we're seeing where things aren't working. We're seeing where things need to shift. Some of you are getting to a point where you're thinking, you know, where do I go from here? If there's something on your side of the fence you need to do, you're going to now have to push through regardless energetically. And you'll either find it in a psychic download through your third eye, which I already experienced, high ringing in the air. The energy with the astrology, and it's going to be all the way to 2020, and this has been going on a very long time. It's very dense, okay? So the dense energy of what's coming in is you are having a massive upgrade. It is like going into outer space, and you're being crushed and squeezed and pushed. It is a huge upgrade. We are receptive to vibrations now, guys. So the squeezing that you feel is because of the energy, because of the astrology. You are empathically tuning into people. So I'm going to try and develop tools for you guys, because honestly, it's going to be the only way you're going to survive it. Some people will crack under the sheer pressure of the energy. It is for your sanity, for your health, to understand what is going on with you. So with that, I will try and give you tools so that you can cope, and then you can teach other people around you. But you basically all are, those of you who have been going through the Ascension symptoms, you know, the spiritual awakening, the dark night of the soul, you guys are light workers. You don't have to be doing readings. You energetically are where you are supposed to be. So the people around you will be energetically getting upgraded while they're in your frequency. So if people are coming towards you and suddenly they're saying things that you've already been through, they're being awoken and you are assisting them to anchor that energy in. Now with the masculines, their overall energy, there can be a lot of females around them at the moment, feminine frequency. Again, I am thinking they're tuning into you guys, and it was around the eclipse energies that they had been thinking about this. It's been something that's really been weighing on their minds quite a bit. They have their heart chakra activated. Now it's goddess of creation, transformation, creativity, wholeness. And I'm going to pull clarifiers on this. I'm going to get the other deck. Bear with me. They are having a lot of dreams as well, but they're trying to look at the dream. They do know by 2020, you can't make this up. I'm a bit cursed today. This is like a terribly edited video, right? Has anyone noticed some of the videos on YouTube? I was like, I typed in twin flame channeling while I was sick, and I come across two, and I will not name names, and I was like, what are they on? What is going on right now? One flew over the cuckoo nest for what was coming through, but they were acting very strange. And I was like, okay. One looked like she was doing a hoochie mama dance. And I was like, what is this video? What is this? What's going on? I also called Giggle the other day, and I said to her, and it was before the Leo King went live, and I went, I don't know, man. Yeah. I was like, I'm feeling Neptunian energy. I said, Google what's going on with Neptune. And she said to me 2 days later, you can't make this shit up. She goes, you're on the ball, Yildiz. Okay. A karmic related, you know what I'm like. Femme coach, you know what we're like. I mean, hey, we're naughty, but Twin Flame Journey will send us over the cuckoo nest, but that was just extreme. That was very Neptunian energy. Okay, Goddess of Creation. I feel this is to do with the past tense hopes. They know in order to have this and to create a new future, something's got to go. Something's got to go. Something's got to die. Something's got to end, because a way of doing something in a foundational related issue ain't working. It's just not working. But it's not to do with feminines, okay? It's more to do with a way of being, a way of handling a dynamic, an old karmic cycle, however that will relate to them, because it's dead and gone. Rejuvenation in reverse. It's like it's dead and gone, but it's lingering on. It's hanging on to them and latching them down. Now, they've got the next card, which again, both cards have a moon on it. And this is really, I felt probably since the beginning of the year, moon energies were really relevant. And next year, interestingly enough, a lot of feminine energies coming in, where it's a rise of feminine frequency, which if you do listen to other people, you sort of get paranoid, like, are we going to react a bit similar to the masculines? No. We're not, because we've integrated masculine and feminine in both of us. Masculines are integrating that currently, where they're getting the empath aspect, the pain body aspect, the emotional feminine aspect coming through in a purge. Now, this being a number 4 is 2020. Next year is a vibrational breakthrough. Now, I feel they've had an epiphany and a deep reflection. And remember, I mentioned hermit mode. I do feel when we're having an upgrade, especially if we have the 12th astrology chart and you see the 12th house, which I do believe Libran's having that this month coming very best. Otherwise, again, they'll be live. I feel they've had an epiphany and some insight. This is in relation to connection, and I'm going to pull another clarifier for this. I do, for some of you, this is in relation to a message that you once sent them. Look at the card, okay? They're dreaming about some of the communication you had, some of the conversations you had, and how fortunate they were to have that dream. Deep regret, and I'm going to pull a clarifier. Really? They feel regretful that they moved away, okay? They're also, they don't understand why they were so scared. There is an aspect of healing that's going on at the moment. And they're going to, that they are actually having a spirit upgrade. Buffering. They're trying to forgive and forget with lack of coming through. And it's a 41, so it is connected to twin. They don't know how they're going to get themselves out of this situation. They've thought of a reverse, which to me is feeling quite positive. I do feel after a long time of being in this, I do know the truth. Yeah, they know. Falseness in reverse. They know the truth, okay? They know the truth regardless. A lot of this is to do with past situations, not counterpart, okay? So this is not to do with you. This is to do with things that have been occurring on around and an inability to, I feel like trying to tie up loose ends, trying to balance things out in life. And even, okay, it says do something different. They are doing something different, but they're getting the same outcome. And that's what's really frustrating them right now. So a lot of this heart chakra activation is they know the love, but at the same time, some of them are getting guided from another place, which is more the 5D, and I feel it's been perhaps a loved one who's passed over. They're trying to guide them. This can be connected to a date. It could be I'm not feeling like a mother's actual DNA birthday. It could be connected to Mother's Day as per se, a birthday or a date of a death. But it's wanting to go home and feeling at home and knowing with a certain person this is home. So a home-related dynamic is changing. They're trying to master their life. They're trying to get things back in balance. They know what they love, they know what they want, and they know where home is. Now, August has been pretty heavy for them. This is a number 8, okay? It feels like it's been going on for a long time. Now, when you see yellow, it can be the solar plexus because there's yellow and the orange. Again, about their power, about their control, about their passion and the things they want to move towards. They want peace in this area. So, effectively, originally. And I do, yeah, my twins as well. The energy is that they do know what this is. They also know it's going to get. It's very hard to have happiness when there's so many karmic frequencies. Okay. Yeah, they know what they want. They're dissolving unwanted and disturbing thoughts when it comes to what's going to make them happy. Okay, they do know what makes them happy. They want to experience love. They want to experience fulfillment. Now, this is their overall energy. Now, if universe has to intervene, this is what's going to happen. Things will get triggered, okay? They may have situations that encounter. Eternal love, happiness, harmony, fulfillment. They will feel quite stuck. They know they're going to feel, if universe has to intervene, they're scared they're going to lose you. Okay? They're very, okay, I'm going to pull a clarifier on that. That's really interesting. Interesting. Okay. They will have things taken from them that I don't think this is feminine. The things that they directly were in alignment with will be removed from them if they're not in their higher good. Okay? But it won't make them unhappy. They're already unhappy. They're going to be shifted and reshuffled to a more organised format. They also will gain more clarity first, so they're going to have time. Some of these things will be removed to, again, that be something removed in order to put them in a place where they can think and be themselves to create more harmony in their life. Because there's some things in a sense of a puzzle that aren't fitting. And it doesn't mean to say that they can't remain. They just know the path, okay? So it's not like they don't know what's going to happen. They do know this is going to happen. That they're listening to their intuition, but if they give their power away, the universe is going to force the hand to get them back so they can have more room in their life for the things that are supposed to be there, whatever that be in universe's mind. Now, if they do take direct action with their hunches, their insight, and the downloads that they've had, they are going to achieve things. They're going to be quite focused on their dreams and themselves. They will reach their union. And they will have to balance the energy out of yin and yang within the connection. So if they do take action, it's not that the balance will be there right away. They may have some time temporarily prior to connection, but it will be whatever's not supposed to be with them, it's going to be brought up inside the connection for healing within it. Okay. They also may feel that even if they do leave, maybe they won't have their counterpart. Yeah, they're worried. They feel that at the moment a lot of time is being spent on the 3D, getting things sorted, and it's really pushing them left, right, and centre. I do feel they need to get grounded. I also feel a holiday is in order. Hi, Michelle. Yeah, they need to walk in their truth. Now, all August, they've been feeling this. They're like, it's coming, it's coming. Like, it feels like a trigger point. And I feel even if they don't want to feel that, it's going to come up. I do feel they're quite stuck, but it's a very messy situation. They don't know what they're moving towards. I mean, if universe intervenes, it will be the healing time they need. So moving forward. So it's because energetically they feel stuck. If universe has to intervene, there will be a pause in the journey, a delay in certain things so they can get the psychic downloads and the healing. Because what's not shining is all the things that are remaining that are hindering them. I do feel a lot of internal healing, but the mind is going so fast. The mind is thinking quite a bit. It is messy. If you're a twin flame, whether you label it or not, it makes no difference. That was the resolve I had to come to because nothing I did changed it. As soon as I was okay and focused on myself, which is where you're always supposed to be, I would get a phone call. And then you do know, you're like, even if you say, no, I'm not doing this, no, you don't have to entertain BS. But the connection's going to be there till the day you die. Your ascension is going, if you're a twin, it's not just the energy of, hey, we're reaching union. It is the energy of you will feel spiritually attacked when they're going through ascension symptoms. You will also feel their energy when they're in danger. You will also feel energy of other people around you. So your spiritual awakening opens you to a whole Pandora's box of situations. So even if you do walk away, it doesn't stop your growth and it doesn't stop the crap that happens to you. And I know because I've been on this journey for 20-something years. So it doesn't stop. The more you can heal, the better you'll do. Pay attention to astrology. The tools I try and develop for you guys is so that you can cope with the ascension symptoms and the psychic attacks you will end up having from other people's energy. And when it is divinely guided, there will be a reunion. So it's up to you if you're checking in with yourself. If you feel that you've purged that person completely and you could be in another connection and be okay and never think about them again, more than likely they won't your twin. And again, it could be you're way further back in the journey. And if that is sitting comfortably with you, proceed forward. Okay, overall energy for twins. Now, I do feel Why, I don't know. Between now and the end of September, there could be a few tower moments. There's shifts happening, major shifts. If you guys have been very tired as feminines, I would say it's to get you to have your upgrade, because you're going to be very busy. You're also going to need to be very organized moving into the months coming, because we have more eclipses at the end of the year. You're always together. That's the problem. Be it they're there in the 3D or they're not, you will come to understand you guys are always together. You will receptively feel their energy, and even your 3D life will be quite similar to your counterparts, regardless of being there or not. Okay. Responsibilities. They're coming up. Take your power back, guys, both sides of the fence. Anything that you're needing to do, a lot of what's happening is the power is in both parties' hands. The seed that's been planted, some of you in an egoic state are thinking you can't see it. Even with the eclipses energetically, you know, especially when I was talking about the retrogrades, I was saying some things will shift a few times and they'll be reconfigured after. That is still occurring now, and that's from July, and we're moving into September. So, you know, with that energy, till the end of the year, we're going to be working on that. And the eclipse energy is for 6 months to a year. You're starting, and I do feel that frequency is there, is that we're shifting things around in our own life, potentially in theirs as well, and that's everyone collectively, twin or not twin. Males and females are shifting energetically. It has felt like a funeral of the old, very uncertain about the future, very Neptunian energy of disillusionment, of, you know, this cosmic connection and what it's going to be. What will it look like from here? You will feel glad after the fact, okay? The self-worth energy is coming up. A lot of you might be feeling less than. A lot of you have way too much going on, but you're walking in your truth. You're waiting for this transformation to happen, and some of you are quite scared about what that's going to be. Now, in general, a lot of you are looking to the past and where you lost hope. Some of you are feeling, when is this journey coming about where we can be on that path properly? Is this what the path looks like? Is this all there is? Is it going to be any different? What is unconditional love? Am I in my unconditional love vibration? I asked myself that the other day. Am I showing unconditional love? But it's got to go both ways, and it's not to say your counterpart doesn't. It can be a purge that you're physically going through, very separate to you know, what the reality is, because you're purging. Okay, some aspect of a transformation is, and it's interesting because this came up in a drawing. My twin's daughter did it the other day. And there were questions in this book. Now, in the book, there was, how does a butterfly form? And the funny thing was, I was quite baffled by the book because it went backwards, which is a bit like the twin flame journey, really. The cocoon came first, and then it was the butterfly, then it was the caterpillar, and it's like a distorted story. Now here we are with the butterfly, and it's in reverse, you know. So I feel a lot of you are super confused because it really doesn't fit the paradigm of a traditional story, right? Which is a given. It doesn't. It's a mess. But it's, you know, what is a mess? The trigger point in a heart chakra sense of it hasn't followed the set guidelines of hunter-gatherer, you know, man at work, woman at home, Tarzan Jane, white picket fence, get engaged, get married, have kids. No, we've never fit that, and society doesn't fit that. That's the reality, but we're trying to fit an old mold that even if you try, it just doesn't fit. You've outgrown that shoe. So a few things have come up in a download in the last 2 weeks, and it was Cinderella with the shoe. Hi, love. It was the transformative state with the butterfly. I also saw the devil card quite a bit. And again, I was more picking the devil energy of belief system, trigger points, karmic frequencies, karmic dynamics. The Capricorn energy definitely really playing out around us at the moment. Please don't turn that on because I'm on YouTube. So the transformation's yet to come, and due to the fact that it hasn't yet, is causing sadness. Now, when it comes to the scarred path and feeling that you're not on it, reunion is coming. I'm going to ask some questions about what that's going to look like. Yeah, but you've got to check yours as well, Dale, because if something's coming up in your twin 9 times out of 10, it's... Okay, somebody said something to me about what their twin said the other day, and I laughed, and I said, not laughed at them, but I laughed because it's happened to me before. What the statement was is that you're upset, aren't you? You want me to leave my karmic. And I was like quite intrigued by this sentence because I've heard it before. And the counterpart, which was a feminine, said, no, you know, I'm actually really okay. Now, the interesting thing is, you know, in the early stages, you reach a point where you're wanting connections, right? But the funny thing is your twin's saying what you haven't vibrationally addressed inside yourself. This always happens. It's so bizarre. And so when she really did sit back and tune into it, I said, why would you feel that you couldn't be prioritized or number one? Because while you're having compassion and understanding, you must have compassion and understanding for yourself. So if you're looking at them as you have compassion and understanding, they're in a karmic connection, they've got children, X, Y, and Z, that's true. But you also have needs. And, you know, we can't constantly put everyone above ourselves. It's not to say you interfere in dynamics like that, but you must stand in your truth. So the trigger point 9 times out of 10 with counterpart is what they're saying is what's going on inside you. But you haven't stopped to feel that energy. Children. Okay, so the unconditional love. There's no sadness to what's, you know it's there, but what's moving forward is both of you guys want to be happy. Both of you want new energy. How it's going to come is going to be a total surprise. What is this surprise? I'm going to pull a different deck for that. Okay, the disharmony's got to come through. Hello, beautiful. Disharmony will occur in order for this surprise to come about, and it will change everything. We've only been together for 5 months. It's all right. Time and love is, it's interesting. You know, I never believed in love at first sight. It does exist. You do know. You just know. But, you know, the astrology isn't being helpful towards people at the moment with connections. If you're non-codependent and you're getting triggered, you know, counterpart might get a bit triggered. Masculines are going through a huge process, and that's the funny thing was in my life, there were times where initially I had made excuses for not leaving soulmates or karmic energies, and it was usually because they were nice or I had responsibilities. And they said the download I got was the person can be the nicest person in the sun. And it's not about them. It's about you. You know, they can be the most perfect, loving light energy on the planet. But if it's not in alignment with you, you're not being perfectly and loving towards yourself. And it is a very hard lesson to learn, to actually have to own that accountability and say, look, I love you. I'm not in love with you. Something in me has changed. And actually find forgiveness inside yourself for that and move forward. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of transformations going on in masculine's life, but it's almost finding that closure of how to correct things, how to understand that we're not God or Gaia and that we can't make a perfect world, you know, the forgiveness for that. And even, you know, self-forgiveness. And I think feminines are still working on that for themselves. And I feel masculine, masculines are really going through that. It's not being spoken. It's the unspoken of what they're wanting to speak. But the closure inside comes from self. You know, we can't turn time back, and I hear masculines say that a lot, but they need to find forgiveness for that, because it's not about the past. The past is what the past is, providing the future doesn't move into the past, you know, into the same frequency as the past, because we can't grow spiritually if it remains energetically the same. And I feel this is where they're at, wondering how to find the balance, how to find the peace, how to find the closure in order to be open to love. Now, what we do understand is you can't break what's broken. So sometimes we get quite scared, feeling letting go. What if we just let go? Live and, you know, live and love. What if just let go and stop holding on to our safety nets, whatever they be. That could be a pain body experience. There's a lot of letting go of attachments, and the attachments can be a pain body experience. They can be the beliefs that if we don't hold everything together and it falls down, it's going to be terrible. Some of these falling down situations that are coming are necessary to move the picture forward. So if you're wanting me to tune into your own twin flame journey, getting quick, because I have blocked out several days. I do have clients on Sunday. As I said, I'm sick, but I'm cognitively aware to do it. You just have to listen to me cough. If you do want recorded videos, yes, they're there. Emergency bookings by request, and psychically tuning into your twin. I can do that both by picture or through your voice or through your email, because I have been a psychic medium since I was 9. And any questions while I'm here cleaning up, and then I'm going to have a break and then try and come back and start on the videos. But they're not live, no. I've got the template done. We're going to be covering every zodiac sign. Once daycare is sorted, I will have more hours and I can come to you more often, but I've only got 4 hours a day at the moment. It's just not working. It's just not working. Me and my twin talk daily, but he is not opening up yet. Step back and allow them to come to you. Talk about you for a bit. It'll balance it out. They're not at the moment because they're processing, and it's something, you know, don't enable. So a lot of times when you're micromanaging, and I'm not trying to be rude, you know, when we empathically feel for them, so we help them and we're trying to draw it out, talk about you. Maybe if you're intuitively feeling guided to, you can talk about something you went through. If they broach the subject, you then do that. But allow them to naturally come out in a safe environment. But don't allow the codependent patterns to be there if the movement isn't happening. Detach a little bit to allow them to process and shift. Any other questions? That's okay, Wendy. It will shift. It's just them adjusting. Well, I can hear children screaming, so I'm going to go. It will balance. I'll talk to you guys soon. Any questions after? I'll come back and read them and I'll respond.